Hello and welcome again. Welcome, Cosmic Quantum Travelers. I wanted to do another update on what I've been seeing is going on cosmically with these really powerful activations coming in. I think we can all feel them. If you don't, you probably don't have a heart. So I'm going to do it this time in a message format. So I'm going to write a post and also do a video just to expand a little bit on what I've been seeing. So first of all, a huge Oneness portal and that has fully opened. It's like a multidimensional, interdimensional highway that has opened up over the weekend. And I personally have been feeling a lot of expansion and contraction simultaneously, really profound integration, unification, merging that is happening on all levels of creation and the consciousness. It's really beyond words, truly, but we do try. Hence, that's why I'm doing this, because also it does transmit a lot of codes and keys, the frequency I hold, and if you're watching the video, you're also getting, an energetic activation and cleanse and upliftment. So I chose to do also a video. Now, obviously, there are a lot of powerful DNA and plasma body upgrades going on. We can all feel this. So the physical body has been processing a lot. And we do need to support it as best we can. A lot of purification. So I've been guided to drink a lot of water with lemon, for example, and several other like supplements, liquid chlorophyll, MSM, things like that. Extra vitamins, B vitamins are always good. Go-to cola, which is a herb that also helps with anxiety. So all these things, nature, walking, yoga really supports you. Salt baths and plenty of water, because we've also had a lot of solar activity, ongoing solar winds and solar storms, some geomagnetic activity. And there's some stuff going on with the sun, which I can't quite yet put my finger on. The Schumann resonance also has been having some spikes and heightened levels. So we have a lot going on, but a lot of this is really the unmeasurables, which are the plasmas, interdimensional plasmas, and they don't show up on the graphs just yet. And this is really what also of the hot and cold feeling, and what is really supporting the re-encryption of our realities. So for the elementals, but also our blueprints. And it's really, what I'm seeing going on, it's the full 12D dimensional template blueprint, which is fully anchoring in, coming online now, really fast, quantum style. And I don't just use that word for nothing. I really mean it. It's what has before taken a long time, linearly speaking, is happening a lot quicker now. What took months or years to integrate now, days and hours, really is like that. Now, so what I notice is, because this is also a summary for those that took part in the activations that I am doing every Sunday this month, to assist with these quantum leaps in consciousness, assisting us and our bodies coming online quicker. Really, they serve as an ascension booster for yourself, your own journey, but also every time I can really see big shifts within the timelines and our own consciousness, of course, but also collective consciousness. Because just to explain these activations, the way they come about is that I'm being given, so my main gifts are clear cognizance and clear sentience. So I just know things. So it just comes to me through my connection to source and my own higher levels and identities that this and this is coming in, this activation. Then it's like automatic writing process that I really do for when I write and share things, and also these event descriptions. So I'm being guided on what to include. And then as I post the event description, it already goes online in the field. And again, these are collective activations, so you don't have to take part in order to receive this. We anchor this in for everyone, but it is most powerful if you take part, and you also get an overall ascension booster, cleanse, upgrade, adjustment, harmonizing, balancing your whole energetic field. it's all in the event description if you're interested. So, and it's donation based. I can't make it any better. So if you can't afford to make a donation, you're really welcome. And, you know, I've had people come to me and say, they didn't want to take part because they can't make a donation every time. And please, you know, this is all about, you have very important keys and codes, okay? And when you add them to this kind of group effort of anchoring in these activations, coming in for the collective, you also affect all the, you know, your family, your loved ones, the tribes, the you know, lines, ancestral lines you're connected with. It goes out in the collective much more powerfully as you add your code. So the whole idea of me doing this on donation basis is that the people that can't afford it can also take part. So please don't let this be a hindrance. But if you can make a donation, please do so if it is of benefit to you, as a way of gratitude, and also because, again, I'm doing all I do really on donation based. I haven't been offering personal sessions since September because I'm fully focused, first of all, on my own transformation, because I know that as we heal ourselves, we heal the collective, we help heal the collective. And as our light body and everything comes online, our realities change, and we are holding very important codes for the collective ascension. So this is the priority. A lot of work I do every day on the planetary ascension, on the grids, on the stargates, timeline corrections. And then on top, if I can, as much as I can, share, you know, in this way through posts, videos, and then bring these activations in to, you know, assist everyone as much as I can, when I can. So, and I'm relying on donations. So if you can, thank you very much. And thank you so much for those that have done, because you just make this possible, because this is what I do 24/7. So again, you don't have to take part. If you can take part, that's great. I'm going to leave the description within the post and the video. So what I felt after posting the last description of the video, of the last event of last Saturday, I only posted it on the day before, because that's when I got the final go ahead to post it. And besides limitations that I have now on Facebook, and I can't invite many people, which I'm trying to transcend, because it's not being made easy, that's for sure. A lot of interference trying to play out, but we're really laughing at it at this point. It's like nothing can get to us anymore, but it's still a bit annoying. But it's a 0 point. So that's how all of this stuff collapses now. And as I posted it, afterwards, I lay down and wow. I mean, I just dissolved into nothingness, and it was like, it was really huge. I went through a process then afterwards, and just wow, what came in, because it's also preparation for these activations that I get. And I know others felt it as well, these activations coming in, because as soon as you sign up, you probably feel it if you're sensitive. And again, each time is different for each person, the way they experience it. So anyway, I experienced a lot of dissolving into nothingness and the oneness of all that is simultaneously. It was huge expansion, contraction, forth and back over the next a couple of days. It's really hard to even know what happened. That's why I made notes, which is what I'm looking at. So I'm trying to do this one a little bit quicker than last one. So I'm going to try and speak quicker and also read through this a little bit now. So what I'm really seeing unfolding is a divine union activation at one happening for all of humanity. We are now reconnected fully, humanity and the planetary body, to open flow God source return, as I call it, which is really reconnecting to the Godhead, the heart of God, the mind of God, and our natural eternal energy flow. So away from the black hole matrix that we were connected to before. Also the way I see the matrix, which has really already been separated as I've seen it, is it's like hanging like a dark cloud apart from Earth. And again, this is all symbolic the way I understand things. Okay, so don't take this too literally, please. But it's like it's those thought forms, and they are still hanging a few threads connecting us to it, which is literally thought forms. And it's as this huge cellular clearing is happening of the trauma imprints. It's the false history is being cleared from our matrix, all the trauma and so forth. the inserted memories, and the true memories of that we've forgotten are coming online, and with it also come new memories. So you forget kind of the old memories. You're not fully forgetting, okay, but it's not running as a constant in the background anymore. This trauma, keep recreating the new trauma and the same thing over and over again. It's now that the true memories of the golden timelines will come online and are coming online, and that will create a new reality, because truly it all comes back to the consciousness. So there's a huge clearing of false AI programming. And as we're reconnecting to Christ consciousness programming, which is still reconnecting to God source consciousness. And yes, this is happening for everyone, because we are merging back into the oneness, as some of us are experiencing right now, or will experience, because again, this goes out in waves, all of this. But we're becoming one body, one mind, one soul again, one consciousness, which is what all of this comes back to. And through the unification and divine union of all of life everywhere as one consciousness, we are purifying the lower density through this high frequency of divine love now. Really, it dissolves the lower experience. It really does. And divine love is not some, you know, some people even scoff at it or laugh at it. It's not, it knows boundaries and it knows discernment, you know, it knows tough love. It's all kinds of things. It's very integrated. It's not just fluffy, you know, I can't find the word right now, love that doesn't know, you know, what the story is. It can read people. Let's put it that way. And it doesn't engage in drama, no more. So this divine love really is healing all, and it's melting away all the trauma and heartbreak. And I've been really finding that the whole Rumi quote of you have to keep breaking your heart until it opens, very apt. I've been processing some old heartbreak and moving through it, and only when we can do that can we really go deeper and see what's beyond it, and release these, you know, false perceptions and wounds of, you know, what's actually behind that, because it all is always triggering some core wound, especially right now, that we're still here to resolve and heal. And that's happening very quickly and beautifully now through these huge expansions, but also contractions. And what I also see is really this is the tri wave which is coming in, which is why also if you felt like you're losing your mind a little bit, it's like the whole brain is coming online. So it's the right and the left brain. So from the duality polarized, distorted way of thinking, it's unifying this by accepting and integrating the paradox of everything as a truth. But as you go through that, your normal programming, as it clears now, your brain goes a little bit offline, short circuits, and you know, you need to have to integrate polarized points of view as one, as both being kind of true, although you know a higher truth, if that makes sense. Let's say the, you know, thing that's going on for the last 2 years almost, you know, whether you're for or against it, it's like integrating where they are coming from, where you are coming from. You still keep your perspective, your highest truth, but you're unified with the third energy, which is the neutrality, which understands where everybody's coming from, but it doesn't try to convince the other person or argue over it or, you know, oppose one's viewpoint. And you just stand in your truth. But there's no friction between the opposing viewpoints. There's no friction between the different states of polarity anymore. That's the tri-wave. And as you try and unify that within your consciousness, it can be a bit maddening, the same as this huge expansion, huge contraction. It's these polarities amplified happening at the same time, which can be come across as a bit maddening. So these powerful activations and upgrades can really knock you sideways. I mean, the Lightbody activations and DNA upgrades of the last few days and 2 weeks really, wow. I mean, the last few days, yesterday I wanted to do this video and I was literally put to sleep. So it's like, okay. So these are really like when we shift, and I didn't say this correctly last time, the last video, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. This is the quantum observer effect. So we really shift when we change our perspectives, which is happening now very quickly. As also what I'm seeing is the frequency net is going down and the frequency of the people is going up. So there are less and less people that are vibing with the or tuning into the mind control broadcast, which is weakening anyway because we are taking over as broadcasters. But basically, less and less, more and more people can see through the nonsense because they're no longer affected, because we are reconnecting to the Godhead. And they're getting used to now sudden shifts in consciousness, which have already happened, especially over the last 1 to 2 weeks. Wow. To get ready for the big one. And that's happening now. And again, I mean, it's already getting pretty surreal, but for me, always, this is all accessible in no time. So, you know, I'm not focusing on any dates, anything. Yes, I keep them in viewpoint, you know, I pay attention, but ultimately the shift within the time-space coordinate of the consciousness, which is happening, which we are completing fully, is already available now, always now. That's just what I want to say. So try to not get, like, we just need to get away from, if you want to drop into no time, quantum time, you need to get away from the linear time thing, because otherwise it's always the next eclipse, the next stage, the next whatever gateway, okay? Opportunity always here right now in no time. That's how we go quantum. Time then becomes a coordinate. It's where were you on that date at that time? What place? What did you do? That's a coordinate. But we don't get stuck in time anymore, because that's how you get stuck in 3D time. When we go past 3D, we transcend all this. So anyway, so huge opening, third eye, heart especially, also the lower chakras. I'm going to go through a list now, also connected to 11 gateway still, that brought a lot of, basically, I wrote about this, the original sound and light tones, frequency bands, because before manifest form, you have sound and light. That's what manifests into form. And these have been distorted, just like the DNA and everything else. So these are now flowing into the core of the earth. And that's also, I believe, the Schumann resonance has been active since, because we really, it's now, I can feel it also around us. It's like these corrected sound and light codes around us and the planet, really harmonizing everything into the correct blueprints. That's really what's happening, really harmonizing matter back, like first of all, a crystalline form, but also just a higher frequency and vibration, and just beautiful, really beyond, all assisted by the crystal dragon races, which for me really represent the sound and light tones, the corrected ones. Because again, I look at it more symbolically than also literally, but they're also manifest in that form, that consciousness. And these are really consciousness units. So I'm going to go through a little breakdown of the last few days, which also connects into the activation that I did. So Saturday, straight after the posting, I said, wow, huge, fully dissolving into nothingness and then oneness, feeling like you're utterly alone when you're in that singularity and oneness, but then also totally fulfilled because you're all in everything. I mean, just wow, just very intense and profound. Much interference was playing out as well. But we're receiving so much multidimensional help right now. It's really everything being given to us, everything. It's like systems fully ready and loaded for the full compression breakthrough. Huge, I'm noticing huge breaking of money spells and programming. Really, the whole thing, I think a lot of people are being squeezed, and myself included. And it's like, it just doesn't even touch me anymore. It's like, it's really boring. I've been through it so often. It's like, yeah, I'll be fine one way or another. And I've heard this from other people as well. So that's amazing news, because when we are too focused on this whole money thing, we keep feeding those spells, you know, we need to break them. So now we really neutralize the interference through our neutrality, because if it can't get to us anymore, can't gaslight us anymore, when we can see it for what it is, we have a sovereign energy field and it just can't get to us anymore. And that's happening more and more now. So we're totally winning. And what I also could see is through this like allness and oneness and nothingness, it was really matter and antimatter merging and unifying, and really spirit and matter. That's what it really is. It's all merging. All the dimension gateways are open. The multidimensional merge. It's merging all dimensions and realities, consciousness. It's everything is affected. Because if you can imagine life like a Russian doll, you know, like a doll within a doll, that's the closest you can get to a representation of what reality is. Because it's all within, you know, it's all a representation of the micro and the macro of each other. So know it for what it is. Don't fall for the gaslighting. Don't fall for any kind of, you know, tricks from the dark force, because the lighter it becomes, also the stronger the darkness becomes, and we can see this playing out. Just know it for what it is. That's how you neutralize it. And send that out into the consciousness that other ones can see it as well. Because that's part of shadow work, also knowing the false light for what it is. So we're really, what I'm seeing is becoming the new broadcasting stations. And just like how you would think these other, you know, radiating technology does, if you think of the one mind, the planetary brain, which we all connected to and are one with, it's like a network, like a brain network. If you ever saw a picture of the universe, like energetically, and just send it out. When you decode something of like, you see one thing, but you know, like, no, this is actually this way, then just send that clarity of thought out there. Because it's really the telepathy, all of our gifts, abilities, psychic senses coming so powerfully online. Don't know if you have noticed yet, the clarity, the remembering, the downloads, and the telepathy is so wow. So send that out there. We are the new broadcast, the new Christ consciousness broadcast. We hold this, okay, and we are now overwriting, overstepping the old mind control and the frequency net. It's very, very weak until full dissolution. So yeah, big dissolution of false religious and spiritual beliefs, AI, false programming. Generally, this is really what kind of is based upon spiritual and religious beliefs. If you understand like polarity consciousness, that's really what it kind of mostly reflects back to us. The good versus evil, which is really us externalizing and demonizing our own shadows into the outside. Not that it doesn't exist, but we have created it through not dealing with our own stuff, quite frankly. That's what I've been shown, symbolically speaking. How did entities and all this, how was it created? If we think back, let's say symbolically, the first man and woman created, having a disagreement, and one person not owning their stuff, projecting it onto the other, and the other one not saying anything, or you know, not standing up for themselves and questioning it or excusing the other person. That has created attachments, because you have not dealt with stuff or allowed this to happen, to be projected upon. And these really attachments are negative thought forms that have become a life of their own. Obviously, there's more behind it, but ultimately it's negative thought forms. That's how we resonate via frequency with these things. That's why, you know, attachment clearance and all these things are good and fine, but ultimately you have to shift your consciousness and your belief systems and stop giving your power away in any shape or form, because that's literally what attracts them and what creates this, co-creates it. So that's how I see it. So we need to just deal with our stuff, stop projecting, and own the stuff. Because if we want these families and cabal members, whatever, take ownership and responsibility for what they've done, we need to take full ownership and responsibility and accountability, because the more we take this on, the more power we will be given. It's not actually the other way around. And we need to own up to anything, you know, that we have done wrong, in whichever way or form we are guided to do that. Because that's, if we want to see that happening in reality, we should be the ones also being the example of. Doesn't mean we buy into or support victim victimizer consciousness. That's actually, I think, believe, a distortion. It's we just own up. It doesn't mean we feed into it. It's just clearing the slate and doing the right thing, you know, making corrections. Because otherwise, if we don't understand we've done something wrong, then we haven't learned. Don't make the adjustments. We keep doing it again and again. Now, what else? So heart clearing, sealing, opening, higher hand, mind activation, so much going on, pineal pituitary gland, that, I mean, you know, the whole, it's the mouth of God, it's your high heart, it's all opening up, coming online, clearing out, so we may see clearly again. Huge balancing, merging of feminine, masculine, huge equalizing is what I really felt. And I'm feeling huge unification. Again, this is also macro of the merging of meta, antimatter, higher, lower self, physical and spiritual realms, and dark and light. And what I could really see was the light merging with the dark and turning it into light again, because that's what we're ultimately doing. That's also what the blue aqua ray does, and the mother arc. It's really through the power of love, through that light from source, from the Godhead all the way down, purifying it by transmuting it through you. That's what we're here to do. Merging shadow and light and purifying and turning it back into light through inner alchemization, through understanding how all of this works and why people are the way they are. And that higher awareness and consciousness is really coming online powerfully now, thankfully so. So again, powerful divine union and Edenic and paradise codes activations coming in. This is also interference patterns are being removed, especially regarding twin flames and divine couples that are here to anchor new divine relationship, blueprints and templates, because I do believe twin flames, whether you or however you relate to that, for me, I'm not stuck on any terms, but I do resonate with it. And I do believe we carry very specific and powerful, important codes for this ascension, because as we change and heal these distorted masculine, feminine templates and blueprints, we affect the whole collective, because we just have these codes within us. And as we come to divine union within, and then also with another person, we heal these relationship templates for the collective, and this becoming available for everyone. And also this goes back to really closing a loop, going back to Lemurian timelines when really everything went very pear-shaped, and healing what went wrong back then. That's why I also say it's really what I can see. I've been shown years ago something from Lemurian times of, even if nobody like, you know, you need to know your vision. Basically, I was shown back in the Lemurian times on top of a pyramid, and I could see what was going to happen. I tried to warn people and, you know, convince them of what I was saying was correct and not to listen to the false priests and priestesses. And basically, they were laughing at me, not listening to me, and descending in chaos and so forth. But I was holding the vision of the future timeline of now coming back to the past, but in the future, because it's like we're going back to the Lemurian massacre never have happened, and but with the wisdom of what has happened. Okay, so meeting that timeline again in the future, where, you know, the fallen angelics haven't taken over and turned us into a full-on prison planet, and meeting the timeline again, but again with the wisdom gained, and, you know, reinstate the divine blueprint, but with some upgrades, because we had also to learn something. Anyway, so we're also connecting this to the twin flame journey, because that's when a lot of pain, wounds, trauma has happened to these twin flame pairs. And I was asked a question, I'm just going to quickly bring this in, I think on the last video, but then the question disappeared, of the person was asking, so that I kind of want to detach from that twin flame, and what their intuition keeps telling them, that they will end up together, that it's going to be inevitable. And I want to say to that, I think it's both. You need to detach from the person, from the story, from any kind of attachment, codependency patterns, all of that stuff, to a person. Okay, and especially I think all our over-identification with the physical vessel and the person is where some problems come in. But ultimately, what is all is about that you know what you know. You need to trust your intuition beyond anything that's playing out, beyond all illusions, because that's part of it. And especially the feminine holds a lot of these codes to keep the vision, no matter what is playing out. And that's just what I'm going to say to that. Now, Sunday, day of the activation. So within the activation, deletion of false AI programming vastly accelerated, ready for complete deletion and takeover of Christ consciousness programming, basically access to higher consciousness through reconnection to the Godhead. Feeling very blissful and expansive, mind-blowing, really. Something mind-blowing is arising. Definitely could feel that in the field. And right now it's like the message, you don't need to know, just I know really good things are going to happen. Doesn't matter what everything looks like right now. It's like just no doubt. I just don't know how and when. But that's what we rest in the timeless state of knowing that good things are coming. And I really feel collectively there's something really mind-blowing in store. And we don't need to know. Multidimensional portal, Stargate system, highway, wide open. So much help, so much light coming in. Oh my goodness. Beyond words. Many intergalactic angelic helpers are now able to assist us. Big focus on purification of the ether and astral layers. Also the elementals, so the elemental command, especially water. Aurora waters, crystalline plasma infusion, supporting purifications of toxins and AI materials. That is, again, huge, really clearing AI through our blood and the fascia and the bones, like a lot of the bones and the tissues also clearing. And our skin. But really, I mean, at cellular and elemental layer, because you also need to understand elementals is what matter is made of. So we're really shifting and getting re-encrypted, reprogrammed at that cellular subatomic level. And this is why this is so huge. And yeah, just shifting our elementals and that of the planetary body, literally shape-shifting. Deletion, release of poverty consciousness programming and lack was a focus, mental body clearing and healing, reconnecting and merging with emotional and spiritual bodies. The green ray came in very powerfully there. Womb healing and clearing of addiction webbing. I could feel really like huge, like strings and ties and cords being removed from the womb area, and like kind of webbing connected to addictions. Mental body clearing and healing, reconnecting and merging with the mental, emotional and spiritual bodies. I think I said it already, sorry. Dissolving the white quartz hooks. Oh yeah, and the aurora orbs coming in, especially in the womb area, really beautifully helping with the healing and re-encryption. Frequency net is getting very weak. So a huge support from Blu-ray, Mother Ark, many other families, especially from the Aurora Galaxy. What I really saw was the Aurora, Aquafae, and Aquael families. So these are crystal star families. So from a higher consciousness or also the next universe, but a downstepping through the Aurora matrix, or also basically the Andromeda galaxy, which is the Milky Way's twin. And we used to be together before all the cataclysmic events happened, and we're realigning with the Andromeda galaxy. And they're bringing in a lot of blue energy and basically a shield, a blue shield, which I now see around the Earth, which is really accelerating the clearing of especially genetic mutations and codings, the 666 seals from the tissues, from the bones, from the blood, and basically recorrecting with the re-encryption of the elemental and cellular subatomic levels. Core and crystalline network, waiting full activation. So again, these activations are preparing We're not quite fully activating it. The crystalline core and the crystalline network that's also within the crystalline core of the earth is connected to our heart. For me, it's, you know, all connected in one multidimensional column of diamond rainbow light all around us, connecting us all the way to source and all the way down to crystalline core and beyond. Really just, instead of just the white kind of column of light, it was really full diamond rainbow crystalline big pillar of light all around us, which is really bringing in the highest frequencies and alignments for us. Then I saw it's also part of the womb healing, and then the root healing was that a triple spiral, like a thread of golden multicolored iridescent plasma light, connected to the root, was coming down and going all the way down into the 15th chakra, which is beyond, past earth, like through the earth's core and beyond. And then went all the way back up, all the way to source, and all the way back down. So full connection. Again, it's that what it represented to me. Also reconnection to the tri-wave, which is the energy current of the new grid system. So really full reconnection back to source, Godhead for humanity. This is huge. It really is all huge. It's like huge, many events are taking place all the time for those that can see or have the insight. That's why I'm sharing it also. And yeah, it's really interesting. And then, you know, you look around and it's like, nothing has changed, but I just know. So focus on higher heart-mind connections, restoring full sight, third eye clearance and upgrades, healing of negative threads, connections between people. I could see like negative connections between people in the consciousness, and then they were turning golden. So the negative threads kind of dissolving and clearing and then turning golden. Again, what I'm explaining, it doesn't just all happen in one moment, hour, whatever. It's spread out, but these are activated and then it goes out into the collective. That's why these are collective activations. Major clearing and activation of planetary and personal horizontal, vertical, and diagonal ley lines and the grid system. Beautiful crystal spiral was radiating at the end from our hands, which is basically representing the blueprint for the 12-pointed tree of life. So our original 12D blueprint, the core really of what we are rehabilitating here. So that was really beautiful, another really beautiful symbolic representation, confirmation of what we are bringing online fully. So powerful diamond, plasma, rainbow, Lightbody, DNA activation. So gifts, abilities, psychic senses, remembering, bringing great clarity and clearing the fog in the veils now. Full return to our divine blueprints as we continue to integrate this at quantum God speed. Monday, the day after the activation, so tired. I mean, the last 3 days, oh my goodness, Monday to Wednesday. Monday, just so tired. I've been really working like nonstop for 14 days from the 1st of November until the Sunday, and then Monday, and then I just know when to push myself and when to really surrender, let go of land. And the 14 days just had to keep going, working with the field. And then on Monday, then my consciousness sometimes will just switch off, like where I just can't anymore. And I was really just, I mean, there was just, you know, just to be in that energy and to let it integrate and to continue for this to all take place. You know, the higher self takes over. God says, source takes over. Focus on the blood and bone healing. I saw that day clearing of reversals and reptilian hybrid-genetic coding, much golden liquid Christ light filling our bodies and cells, assisting the re-encryption and reprogramming of old AI-based programming, and you know, now moving and shifting to Christ consciousness programming. So the golden liquid light, again, another representation, confirmation for this beautiful Christ consciousness now fully available and healing our bodies. And another person also said they saw that day. Programs are beliefs So basically programs, when I say programs, they're really beliefs, okay? And repetitive thought forms create belief systems. So a belief system is really like thought forms bundled up together, and they're all being cleared. And again, we have these, you know, this is ongoing, but there are big shifts that take place. And this was a big, big shift. So tri-wave plasma infusions helping to heal the reversals and lower codings, clearing the 666, and the bloodlines, bones, tissues, all of that. That's also why we can feel that so much. So again, assist your body really with the cellular clearing. Tuesday, wow, total oneness. Just, there was nothing more to connect to. Like usually I set up and I connect to the core of the planet and to source and whatever else. I just couldn't. First of all, my consciousness wouldn't let me. And then second of all, it was also just, there's nothing to connect to. Just all around you, all within you. It's not outside of you, because it ultimately isn't. I mean, I'm talking about chords and colors and all of that. But at the most abstract level, it's nothingness, it's allness. I mean, you know, we try to put it into words and form, but it is beyond that. And that was just, wow. I mean, I've had many experiences of oneness, but that was, wow, very profound, very beautiful. Like the nothingness and the allness, like contraction and expansion at the same time. Very profound. So again, if you're not feeling this now, I do believe you will feel this at some other point in divine timing. So really it's helping all this love to like dissolve and melt away all separation of any walls around the heart, any heartbreak, like just opening our minds and hearts up wide. This is what's happening. It's pure source love. And so much divine mother and feminine energy is very present on Tuesday, very gentle, like magenta, pink, violets, purple tones. So I saw it's also a beautiful healing of the masculine wounds through divine love of the feminine and mother energies, and melting away all fears and walls, you know, the fear we have of loving others and opening up to love. And that's really when we become vulnerable. But, you know, is life worth living without risking it all for love, ultimately? I guess you need to know when it's worth it. So anyway, beautiful healing. And I really see, and what I've saw being shown many years back, it's like how I believe, however much, like I'm not a Bible person, but let's just say Joshua did heal. I believe he healed by seeing the original innocence within a person, by loving them no matter what, that unconditional love. And that's what I see is healing all now. It's dissolving all our realities and frequencies, that pure divine love that's flowing through us now, and that we're radiating out. We become the new radiating broadcasting station of Christ consciousness. And that consciousness is not just thought, it's feeling and thought. That's the heart and the mind now unify as one. That's the divine union. It's profound. I mean, you know, it's been a long time coming. Divine mother and feminine energies, I said that. Huge sexual healing as well, healing of sexual abuse, sexual misery programming, healing of womb and sexual health. So I could feel a lot of healed sexual energy arising from the root and unlocking our also creational and creative energy and forces now, and our abundance. It's all interconnected. Again, there's a lot going on with the lower three chakras. Root, sacral, solar plexus, they're all connected to three lower dimensions. So it makes a lot of sense. This is really dissolving now. I mean, the dissolving. So there's a lot coming online, a lot of healing there. So overall, general physical symptoms. I mean, ultimately anything goes. Wherever there are blocks, you know, it clears. But there's been a lot of flu type symptoms like cold. So flu, frequency light upgrade, ultimately. That's what it means. I mean, anything and everything is this. It's, if your body needs to clear something, you know, for me, the whole med bed thing is kind of assways, because in my understanding, and please as always, take what resonates and leave the rest, okay? This is all my perception and perspective. It's any kind of physical disease comes from an inner conflict that has not been healed and resolved. So it's a mental emotional imbalance. So, fixing the body without fixing the mental underlying problem is just like modern medicine, doesn't really work long term. So there's just something off for me there, and it's kind of a 3D way of looking at it. I really believe we are already getting the med bed treatment through these frequencies coming in, but in kind of slow motion. But however that may come about, I just want to put that out there because it's just something doesn't feel right on that level. I think the way all of this comes about, we keep looking at things from a 3D perspective, trying to solve, thinking how things are going to work. But we can't look at it from this perspective because the solution is on another dimensional level of awareness that it exists in. So anyway, it all comes back to our own self-healing abilities. And I've also, with some back pain I had a couple of weeks back, I needed to get a massage because I couldn't sit anymore, yoga, a lot of praying, self-healing work, but a lot of praying, give it up to God. Believe that you can heal. Believe your own body's intelligence. Like I had a friend who fell. He could have really hurt his back, but it actually knocked a few things back into place. And I said, wow, that's a very intelligent way of the body to heal itself, isn't it? Now, I recommend this to anyone, but ultimately, even accidents are not accidents. So anyway, physical symptoms, nausea, dizziness, headaches, lightheadedness, when the high dimensional frequencies come in, sinuses a lot, headachy stuff, teeth sensitivity, like there's a lot of pressure going on, body aches, especially bones and tissue, again, as this all clears, these distortions within the, that's really held in our bodies, bones, blood, muscles, tissues. So all is really beautifully being harmonized. Wednesday, a lot of separation clearing. That was nice, Jesus. Somebody else mentioned to me, felt like they had a mental breakdown, a nervous breakdown. I felt a lot of depression, heaviness clearing, and I knew what it was, but I really had to okay, just 0 point in this. It just is, it just is. Just don't believe it. Know as these old programs are coming up and that lower consciousness is clearing through us, don't believe it. Know it for what it is. It's false programming that's coming up to clear. The same with the realities. It has to come up to be seen for what it is and just clear. Know it for what it is. Code your reality and let it flow through you without resistance or without believing it, without feeding it your energy. And then it just flows. And maybe go for a walk after a while, sitting with it. It's not just sitting and swallowing, wallowing in it. But, sometimes for me, writing something helps me shift it as well. Transmute it, alchemize it, use that energy that is clearing, to help it move along. So one thing I wanted to also say, many souls are deciding to depart at this time, at this juncture in space-time. And the good news is no more reincarnation onto a prison planet. And I do believe ultimately whatever that anyone is dying of, that a soul decides when I want to leave. And, trying to find fault or reasons, yes, whatever, of course. But ultimately, I do believe, the soul decides when they want to leave, however that may come about. So if we can understand that, and then also that death truly is an illusion, we can clearly see that this is just a vessel and that the consciousness is always available to us. And I also believe that as we ascend, we will have contact with them, because again, this veil is what keeps us from realizing we all can speak to people that are not physically with us, whether they're alive or dead. The consciousness is always alive. That's the whole thing. And I believe that these souls are going to receive healing and a debrief as they are, moving along now. So, final messages. My daughter left me when she was here with me the week leading up to Halloween. As I was picking up, she gave me a little card and was basically saying, always stay strong. And I have to say, it really has helped me this last couple of weeks to just don't descend into despair. Don't get, whatever, give up hope. you need to keep the vision. Remember your mission, no matter what your reality is trying to reflect back at you. So just stay strong. Doesn't mean you can't be vulnerable or, go to a friend and talk to them, but just keep not, giving up. Just don't give up. Don't fall for the illusion. Know it for what it is. So, because we're being tested in our mastery. So own this with pride. Know that these last tests, they're like, part of it. Know them for what they are. Strengthen your mastery and shine bright, stand tall. And remember, we are the directors. We are here to recode and decode these realities. We hold the codes and keys for these realities. As starseeds, we have more DNA codes, and they need us in order to manifest these realities for us. So when you see these headlines, be careful what you give your consciousness consent to. If you see something that they are planning, because yes, they're all, reading from the same script, it's all very predictable. But what are you doing? If you're saying, oh yeah, I knew everything that they were forecasting, I could have told you, last year and we were all right. Yeah, great. Well done, manifest. Not that we are, it had to play out the way it did. It's all perfect. But are we done with this yet? In reiterating and reprinting, reposting negative headlines that just keep manifesting the same stuff over and over again? Are we going to own and remember and reclaim our power fully now as the conscious co-creators that we are? Because that's what is necessary now. Very super consciously recoding our realities and dissolving the false insert matrix overlay, because this is an overlay. I could feel it very tangibly this morning. Like literally something in your field is going to clear and it's just gone. I don't know, people keep talking about 20, 30 years, hundreds of years predictions, and we need to restructure everything. I just don't see it like that at all. I see this is an inserted holographic overlay that is not real. It's literally at one point, it just poof. And it's connected to our memories. It's connected to the crystalline core. It's connected to the crystals within us and the whole crystalline network and our DNA. And this is the film strip to our realities. They need your keys and codes for the stargates, to get access, to certain areas within the stargate systems, the portals on the planet, and also to create realities for them. So next time you see a headline that is talking about some plans they have, know for what it is, decode it, and then send it out to the field, to the consciousness field. Know your power. The more you know, the more conscious you are of everything you think, say, feel, believe, act upon, but thoughts create matter, words, very powerful. So know what you're recoding and decoding. Don't fall for it anymore. Please don't. See what you want to see. Reverse everything. Reverse everything. Everything is in reverse here. So it's all in our DNA. As this comes online, the new realities come online. New thoughts, new memories, new realities. Okay, this is how this works. Don't try and figure out the how and the when. I'm trying to tell you the how, but you know what I mean, how exactly this is going to play out in reality. We will find out. Nobody really knows, I think. So don't give your consciousness consent to identify as agendas and plans, okay? Remember your power. And shadow work is also about seeing the false light matrix for what it is, the veils and false matrix layers dissolve rapidly now as we see them through them and knowing them for what they are. Reaffirm what is really true, what you want to see. That's your power. Keep tuning into your future self and future realities. Merge and unify with them. Okay, override this reality. That's what we're here for. To co-create all new realities based upon truth. Stop waiting for people to tell you what's going to happen. Create what you want to happen. So nothing is as it seems. So see through the illusion, see it for what it is, recode, override, everything in your reality is this. If you remember that you're in a holographic reality, then you're also going to become, that's what's happening now. You're the avatar, and you also know you're the player within the video game. So you're both things, the super consciousness. So you know you're, part of the game. You've got your part to play, but you also know it is a game. So you see through it. And it's as real as you make it, as in, yes, of course, this is real because we are experiencing it, but it's all still based on thought forms and basically imagination. That's what we mean with it's not real. So, and also inserted thought forms and holographic inserts. So as they're released and clear, so do these false realities. To see through it, and all is in reverse. We came to reverse it, okay? To co-create all new realities. So keep validating yourself. Even if your life looks like shit, no, this is not the real truth. What everybody's running around for, which is money and some kind of false version of success and false ego, sense of self, we're seeing now it's just, totally upside down how it should be, because you can't take the stuff with you. Even ownership doesn't resonate with me. We're just guardians, the same with people. We don't own anyone, not your children, nothing, no pets. You're just guardians. We're safekeepers here. So there's nothing to lose in the first place. You can't take the stuff with you. And what really counts now is your peace of mind and trusting your own inner guidance system and having your connection to source and God and your own, which is you. Yeah, I'm here to remind you, this is you. We have all that access. Okay, and it's not learned. It's innate to us. Every child can, but then institutions and people come along and tell us you need to do X, Y, Z in order to connect. No, very natural. You just need to be open and willing to. And it's within us. So keep reversing it all. Keep validating yourself, your purpose at this time. Keep holding the vision and doing your work and seeing, remember your unmeasurable worth, because this is really what this is about. Same as I do. Don't care how many people ultimately like or watch or read. Yes, it would be great if more could do it. If I get more support, more people resonate with this stuff. But ultimately, I know what I'm doing this for. And many different reasons. It manifests as I speak, I create. Keys and codes going out to the collective consciousness. It anchors it into the field. It assists other people. Many different purposes here. And also I'm speaking to myself, so it always activates something in me too. So keep remembering this. And your difficulty, how difficult your life was, let that be your validation of that, because you have such an important role to fulfill. And that even if things look like as if you have not achieved your goals yet, and your reality is trying to show you that you've been wrong, just know your own truth beyond anything else. And you don't have to explain it to anyone. Just know why you're doing the things you're doing, because you can't be any other way. And this is about just getting the job done. Okay, and that's why I do what I do now. And you do the same, whatever that may be for you, because all of this is. So, yeah. So what's really everlasting is our unification and fulfillment with Source, because that's what's everlasting, and that's also what brings everything else about. But we have to let go of our false sense of ego and last level, clinging on to any remaining control, because it has to dissolve. We have to dissolve into the allness. Doesn't mean you lose yourself. You're like reborn as a divine self, truly. But you have to just let all that stuff go of who you think you are, to really reborn as your true self. But to just let it go, just surrender, flow, become the drop that flows into the ocean or the river. Become one with the ocean. This is what this is all about. That's divine union. So perseverance, neutrality, and surrender are key. Might sound like a paradox, but it's really not. That's the tri-wave. So keep on going, keep holding the vision, keep neutralizing, when you're called, but whatever you're feeling, it's all fine, all right? Just keep coming back to that. And what you can't control, you just have to surrender right now to God. I mean, it's a co-creation. We're not in control here. Trust the divine plan. It's epic. And there is a lot of patience, which we need to have, a lot of patience right now, and just holding it, know your truth, until there's no more doubt. And then divine timing, it will all come in. Any moment now. 0 point at all to collapse lower realities, know what's true and what's false. Just let go of resistance and resolving any remaining inner conflicts, which is what creates conflicts in your life, truly. And any conflict in your life helps you to bring your inner conflict to peace as well. So that's the intelligence of this. But understand, I mean, the problem is with the reverse here as well as, for example, if you have a broken heart, your higher self, or, you know, the way it works is that you will have more experiences that will maybe break your heart until it really fully opens. So it's like, okay, I could really do with some love here, but you're getting the opposite. So it's really a school of hard knocks. But that's just how it's been so far. So know it, the reverse is true. So if you know, you just then laugh at it and you see, no, it's in reverse here. So it looks bad, but it's actually good for me. Okay. So it's like, if you go for feelings of disempowerment, afterwards I will feel much more empowered. And there's a lot of that coming online. As we leave, all the victimizer consciousness programming behind, and any kind of, disempowerment and false programming that makes us feel not enough. I said the no time already. Try to really release linear time as much as you can. And yeah, the message I keep getting is that what is coming is going to blow everybody's mind, and no one really knows what that is. Well, it's going to be epic. I mean, I have literally no doubt and fear left that before the end of the year, something massive is going to happen. I feel this eclipse is massive. I think we can all feel it. I mean, it just keeps building. We can see certain dates, but again, not too much focus, because we can also fold time upon itself, folding it. So excess tomorrow, that's why I'm getting it a message. Excess and 21st of December this year, and also 24th and the 30th tomorrow. Fold time, excess, in no time, timelessly. Access the energies. It's like a portal, what I'm seeing, through these other timeline points, because these are nexus points in time. So we still play with time, of course, but it's a coordinate. I leave it at that. But it really seems like a big game changer, a big breakthrough. I mean, we've been feeling it for a long time, and all new beginnings. So just leaving a lot of the old stuff behind. We've done the work. Let's see what happens, what's possible. I saw, and I'm not one for the moon, and it's a satellite. Yeah, I do believe it becomes more crystalline. I'm not too hung up on any of the stuff, but I don't, give too much attention. But I do pay attention to eclipses, and this is definitely power to the wow. And there's always a lot of focus energetically, and with everything that I see, let's see, what can be achieved. Let's just keep seeing everybody getting it and awakening. Let's not keep going on about how everybody's not getting it. Let's keep seeing them awakening, getting it. That's the best we can do, really, to support us, and then do our own inner work. Keep focusing on our consciousness, keep flowing in the now moment with anything that arises. Just, okay, what is this showing me? What am I here to get? Just don't make it personal, just more like, like an ascension ninja. It's like, this is coming, like this and that, and then just make it a bit more fun. If it's heavy, it's heavy. If it's great, it's great. Just embrace the suffering and the, shit shifting, as I call it, as much as the bliss and the expansion. Just let it flow through you. Yes, we have preferences, but ultimately, just the more you cannot resist any of this stuff and see the bigger picture, the quicker you move through it, the less, because it's when you identify and think it's real, those depressing thoughts and fears coming up in your mind, know them for what they are and tell them, see you later, you're not real. I take this one instead, thank you. At other times, it might be so overwhelming that you can just Just be, just observe, not do anything, no reaction. Okay, so just keep flowing with it. Oh yeah, and what I saw with the moon yesterday was a beautiful rainbow aura around it even. So that was pretty cool. So very auspicious, interesting energy, unlike other full moons. Again, it's an eclipse as well, and a lot is shifting and changing. One more question, a random question I was asked about ley lines. How do you know you're on a ley line? Because I was mentioning to people in my private group that I found out that I'm on a big ley line here, which makes sense. So one of the signs can be, first of all, a lot of energy, geopathic stress, like maybe loads of and like you feel exhausted a lot or a lot of energy moving around. Then also things like what's it called? Cracks in the building, in the structure. That's what we have here. Also, I always felt, because I'm in between two churches, so churches are often, you know, built on ley lines, so that was always resonating. And then a neighbor actually told me that this here is connected where I am to Giza, Pyramid of Giza, to Stonehenge, and to Sandy Hook. So interesting. And I also believe Newgrange and some other places. So now it makes sense why I'm here. You can also research this, you know, ask people, maybe neighbors, older people in the area who know, you know, research it online, maybe get, maybe there's some, you know, books that you can find. It will just come to you. Tune in, you know, with your own remote viewing skills of what you feel you may be connected to there. Again, if you have structural damage, like, you know, kind of walls cracking or being a bit, you know, not even, these are all signs. So I leave it at that. It's 22:02 here. I hope you're all faring well, hanging in there, keep the vision, make it fun. I hope you can join me for the activation. They really are powerful. I also include a little link that guides you to the discussion of the last event on the event page that shows you a few people have the reference, like what they experienced in the activation. It really can be quite powerful. So if you can be part, that's cool. If not, you will also get it. So there's no need, but it is more powerful. And when we come together, let's see what we can make possible, because I can really see how much we're shifting the timelines and the consciousness as we're doing this, believing in the power that we have. I know I'm here to do this. I don't care how many people get it, okay? I will keep on going until the end of days. So anyway, if you can support in any way, also through donation, because of what I share is assisting you, thank you so much. It would be really helpful. Otherwise, keep a lookout for, you know, what I share in my work. If it does resonate with you, thank you for listening all this time. I hope it has supported you and you enjoyed it. And thank you so much for being here now, not giving up. It is really freaking intense, and it's hard. It's, you know, really, really hard. As I said, I was really soul tired. Like, it's sometimes my biggest thing is not having the support I need, especially in physical form. Like, there's just so much I can do. I would like to do fancy posts and websites and all of that stuff, but it just is never aligned. And there's just so much I can do, and certain things I'm good in, and that's the content and not all the other stuff. And hopefully, you know, sometime soon we will have the resources to make it happen. Until then, I do the best I can, as much as I can, whilst I'm also looking after myself. So keep looking after yourself. Self-care is first, as we transform. All transforms through us. Okay? So all comes from here. Keep filling your own cup up first. Keep loving yourself. Okay? It's the key. The love is the key. It's the seed to your soul. It connects it to the higher dimensional realms, and it helps you. That's what enables your multidimensional merge and integration, which is powerfully coming online. So thank you so much for remembering the love that you are, and being here now and doing the work in whichever way that comes to you. Loads of love, eternal blessings. Bye-bye.